Fellas, we got a problem.
All right, now let's dial it back a bit before we get into the meat and potatoes. Recently, we've been getting a short comic series centered around Kamen Rider Zero-One. Now, why does Zero-One get the privilege of having his own English comic and not the others? It's probably since Zero-One's the first rider of the Reiwa era, so it gets the parade of roses over here. But that's just speculatory. But Dawn, you ask, is it good? No, it's unceremoniously bland and like by the numbers in every way. It's clear the bigwigs on the team barely paid attention to the show or even know what they're writing. We got errors of all kinds. We got printing errors, like I can't even read what that bubble is. Translation errors, had the wrong progress keys being used altogether. This honestly reads like they only watched the first couple of episodes and had a half-assed guidebook to refer from, and then 2 Spider-Man comics to boot. The characters are so boilerplate and basic that they could easily be switched out for other characters from other seasons. The only way we know that these are the characters from Zero-One is because some of them say their little iconic catchphrase, their little character quirk that they say or do in the first couple of episodes. The only original character we got is Kamen Rider Ragnarok, and I mean, he's okay, I guess. It's the design's like, it's cool, but it doesn't fit with Zero-One's like tech-heavy focus. I think it's supposed to be nanomachines or some shit. I don't know. The art style is also pretty bland. There isn't anything distinct that stands out. It's just, you know, half-assed hyper-realism, and the action is meh. It just feels like someone traced some SH figure arts in different poses and then called it a day. At best, it's a very bottom-of-the-barrel, painfully mediocre tie-in comic. Now, why am I mentioning this? So that way you know who I'm talking about in terms of what the Zero-One comic is. You have a little background information. And because the main writer for this thing plays a major role into my grievances of this whole distribution topic altogether. Now, I want you to remember this name. Brandon Easton. Ladies and gentlemen, my childhood bedroom. Special guest star dancing baby gift that I found on the internet. So, for those unaware, recently we got something, all right. We got the U.S. release of the Kamen Rider Kuuga manga. Wow. It's not good. It's not good. There's a lot of issues with it. But I could just sit here all day and strumming this instrument I don't know how to play. Right? And be like, that shit. Piece of shit. But no. I'm gonna give the floor to someone that could give a far more educated perspective on this. And because y'all liked her from part 1, please welcome Mako!
Hey, yeah, this is Mako here. Thanks for having me, Dawn. Just want to clarify something right off the bat. I am not an industry professional. If you want professional opinions, there are plenty of people giving their 2 cents about the issue right now. I've just got a background in doing some translation for Dojin or adding English subs to Japanese videos. Well, that's pretty much it. Just stuff I do in my free time. But even with that, I still know when I see a bad translation job, and this is most certainly one. Let's start off with the parts everyone knows about at this point. The super stilted lines that sometimes don't make any grammatical sense. The thing about Japanese is that it's an extremely context-heavy language. Parts of speech that would seem essential to correct syntax in English, like direct objects or sometimes even sentence subjects, can be dropped entirely, so long as they're implied through context. Because of this, directly translating individual sentences into English usually doesn't work well, especially if you're trying to do it word for word. Take this panel that's been circulating around, when Harada is first confronted by his so-called goddess. I'll be honest, this is a really, really tricky line to directly translate, and I don't even think it's worth trying. Harada is speaking in a very specific, pious, almost cultish way here. I guess, like, you could reasonably interpret it as being him going like, "Oh, great one, I am not worthy of your presence," or something along those lines, but even then, that still comes across as like pretty awkward in English. And also, the page cuts him off before he's able to even finish speaking. There is a verb that's sort of implied to be following up what he's saying there, but it's never shown on page. So it's really, really hard to directly translate what he's saying. In my opinion, just so long as you get the meaning of what he's conveying across in English, that's what matters. And that's why I think the Argentinian release had the right idea here. What they did was they just changed the line to something else entirely different, but it makes as much sense in the same context. The official release tried translating the line word for word directly, right down to putting the words in the exact same place, and it doesn't take into account the syntactical differences between English and Japanese. It doesn't take into account the missing context for the fact that the sentence isn't complete. So it just ends up as this really, really awkward mess. So with lines as stilted and robotic as these, it seems pretty clear-cut that this was just a botched machine translation job, right? Someone just slapped all the dialogue into Google Translate haphazardly, and that's how we got stuff like this. The thing is, I'm not completely sure about that. Between all the super robotic speech here, there are some lines that I really don't think could have been machine translated. Like, in this example here, these definitely aren't the words that I would have personally gone with, but no machine translator I know would have spit out "sumaran yatsu" without including the word boring. This is because machine translation tends to have a very, very strong bias for translating stuff literally without ever relying on slang. The word choice here gives off kind of vaguely early 2000s fan scanlation vibes. By that, I mean, it seems kind of weird for a police chief to be using the word dweeb, but it definitely has some degree of intentionality that machine translation can't replicate, as far as I know. And then to top it off and make it even more confusing, you've got weird in-between instances like these, where some lines are grammatically correct, but they don't make sense for a character to say. The phrase "yurusenai" can literally translate to "can't forgive" on its own, but it can also be "can't allow," "permit," "excuse," or any number of other meanings depending on how it's used. In this specific context, saying this about a serial killer that you have no personal connection to definitely feels a little bit off. Even just saying that the actions are unforgivable would work a little bit better here. But you'd be more likely to see this as something along the lines of, "he can't get away with this," if you're trying to sound more natural. This is both a very common rookie translator mistake and also a very common machine translation mistake, so I'm really not sure which applies here. So originally when I was recording this, my main hypothesis was that Titan or Stonebot got someone inexperienced for this job, but now that the main translator has been revealed to be Jonathan Clements, we've got new info to work with here. Based on his Anime News Network credits, this guy's got a ton of industry experience in translation, but this is seemingly his first work that's been met with controversy or backlash. So this begs the question, how could a seasoned professional with decades of experience put out work this inconsistent in quality? Keep in mind, this is still speculation on my part, but I really think this all reeks of mismanaged deadlines and resources. Even professionals can make mistakes. Given especially poor conditions, they can make a lot of mistakes. You see this with crunch in the animation and games industry all the time, where even studios with decades of experienced workers can still churn out messy, sometimes even broken products if they're too rushed or not given enough funding. Given how Stonebot stated they wanted to go in a different direction to make the book look more similar to current manga localizations, it's entirely possible that they had someone different working on the previews during early 2022, then brought Clements on as a replacement on short notice. While nothing here is definitive, please don't harass Clements or any other staff involved in this. We can't be sure this is the fault of any one person, so it's really not worth starting witch hunts over. Translation can be really stressful, really grueling work, and I doubt anyone involved here wanted this end result. None of this excuses the poor quality control on this translation, but the best that we can hope for is that drawing attention to these mistakes and the conditions that created them can help prevent them in the future.
Wow, Dancing Baby. I can't believe it. You saved 74 children? Oh, hey. You want to know something I can't stand? Emotionally stunted man children who can't take valid criticisms. Oh my God. You hear that? He's here. He's here. He's here. It's the It's the shitty CGI opinions bird from Labyrinth. And what does he have? What is it? Let me just reach into the TV really quick. What's this? Oh my God! It's Brandon Easton's really crappy tweets. Wow. That means I've been gifted with eternal youth and an aneurysm. Brandon, your time has come.
Brandon Easton went up to bat for Titan and Stonebot when they were under fire for the manga, and his batting record looks about as great as the Red Sox during the Curse of the Bambino. TLDR, he said, we should sit and shut up and sit pretty and just buy product. Don't ask question and consume product. That's rich, come from the guy who wrote literal ass. Why the hell am I bringing this up? Simple. This is one example of the majority of key players at the forefront of the Western movement. They all say the same sentence. Buy this product to show them that we want the product.
It's like, yeah, no fucking shit ass hat. Yeah, I'll buy the product. I'll buy the product if there's fucking product to buy. Because I want to buy product, but there's fuck all for product right now. There's nothing. There's nothing. But it's okay, guys, because we did it. We fixed it. They're gonna fix the manga. No, they're not. Because guess what? Stonebot or Titan, they're gone. They erased Kuuga from the library. They're not. They're the fucking face of the earth. My parents are calling me. What? Oh shit! My chiropractor just called. I'm getting my spine fixed.
But where was the resource allocation the first go around? That's another thing I want to get into. The fucking resource allocation. It seems like a lot of the time and money has been put towards trying to get new people into Kamen Rider. Oh, so we get to watch the shows legally now, right? No, we get a talk show that lasted one season. Would have been nice if they used that money to, I don't know, secure the rights for another Kamen Rider season. Here's a fucking thought. You want to know how you get more people into Tokusatsu? By releasing Tokusatsu. I literally wouldn't be on this channel if it weren't for the business model putting shit out. It's how I got into Ultraman. I kept hearing online, like, oh, the Ultraman, it's at the Best Buy. You could go get it at the Best Buy. I'm like, huh? And would you look at that? I became an Ultraman fan overnight. It's almost like making the media easily accessible gets new fans. Whoa. To touch briefly on Mill Creek, majority of the releases have been pretty good, save for a couple of issues that people more technically inclined will notice. On the subject of Mill Creek, let's talk about communication transparency. They told us what they were going to release for the next 3 years, what they had rights to, other Super Rise shows that were on the table, and what they couldn't obtain. So let's keep this simple. Let's just ask the one big question. Did everything they say in the documents happen? Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's on my fucking shelf. Like, count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them. It's all there. Everything they said, it's there, and then some, and beyond. It's incredible, actually. Personally, I just think it's astounding how we knew through and through what Mill Creek's release plans were, which is clearly a far cry what we're getting from Shout Factory here, and Toei by that extent. Now, I could sit here all day and compare and contrast what Mill Creek is doing well versus Shout Factory, or how Toei or Super Raya are handling distribution and try and speak for the community, but why do that when I can just go and ask the community myself? But first, I needed to put on a disguise, because I would clearly get recognized for my universal status, because everyone knows who I am.
Oh my God!
So I'm here with?
Name's Audrey.
I'm here with?
Jules.
I'm here with Shocker Grunt number... I'm here with Shocker Grunt number 73. So I'm here with...
Steven, I'm Ron.
Hi, Steven. I'm Don. Very good friend of mine. I'm here with Calvin at Metalucia, Twitter organizer of the MomoCon Tokusatsu Power Rangers cosplay photo shoot. So, what are your thoughts on rider distribution here in the West?
I am loving that it's getting more attention in the West.
I mean, like, it's even plainly here with all these people around, you can see Kamen Rider has a huge effect in the US alone. And the fact that our only real reference to Kamen Rider in American culture has been Saban's Masked Rider and Dragon Knight it's dumb. Like,
I was to say, if certain manufacturers, especially Hasbro, can just lighten up on the restrictions.
Right?
Because there's a lot of great product that we have the effort to receive or was turned down for ludicrous reasons. A great example, even let's say the Deluxe Vision Driver. Bandai had a clear idea of what they wanted to do with this belt to make it even better for consumers. But for technical reasons, they realized they could never sell the stateside if they went with their original idea, so they had to change it to just basic batteries.
See, like everyone's hoping like Team Kamen Rider can do something about it, or Shout Factory. Shout Factory is not that bad, but it's just like it's been lacking, but then it's Toei.
Yeah,
First off.
that seems to be the common thing where people are saying like it's like Toei throwing a wrench into things a lot.
Yeah, and then there's like people who are just like, if you just don't tag people like Shirakura about this stuff, maybe we'll get something.
You're not supposed to know about Trinity.
Yeah, you're not supposed to know about Trinity.
Toei has released like 3 seasons, and even then they've all been so spaced out and barely releasing, and the toys are kind of trickling out, and even if they do come out, they usually come out about 3 or 4 months behind. So I think Toei really just needs to step it up if they're serious about expanding Rider to the West. If they don't want to get serious, I think they just need to stop like teasing us with it and just kind of stop. Either go all in or stop it.
Yeah, I didn't like start like this whole like photo shoot thing to be like we need to be acknowledged. I just did it for fun.
Yeah.
But if it helps like a movement, then be my guest then. But we're here to have fun and whatnot.
I would agree. I think it very much is a movement. It's how I met. It's how I met you.
Yeah.
It's how I met Sean, the cameraman.
It's how you met everyone at the
It's
photo
how I
shoot.
met everyone. It's how I met Jim. Just like lovely guy Jim.
Follow
It's how I
Jim
met-
Kelly.
Yeah.
There's a market here. Maybe if Toei is serious, they might want to look for a better distributor.
Agreed. Thank you, Shocker Gun number 73.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Jules. Right. All right. Thank you.
I'm #1 Kamen Rider Snipe fan.
Yes. Yes, of course. I'd love to see that suit in person one day.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I have to research.
Yeah, I need to do touch-ups on mine.
We're doing this interview,
Calvin.
right?
High five. What? Yes.
So, all right, I'm gonna go completely off book here. I had something written up that was like hopeful and like completely like definitive of this whole video that's taken this long to make. But I'll be completely honest. I'm not going off my script here that I wrote. I'm just gonna be honest. This whole thing with how Tokusatsu is being distributed is a completely, at least on the side of Kamen Rider. Ultraman, you seem to be doing pretty okay. I mean, hell, I think it was like yesterday at the time of this recording, we just got announcements of the North American retail release for Blazar toys. Kamen Rider is completely chaotic. I even know stuff that the public doesn't know. But all that I can say is, you gotta keep fighting. I think if we just keep going the way we are going, no, it's fucking stupid. But like, as you can see, like if one day it could seem like, oh yeah, no, they don't care about Kamen Rider, right? And then we get like a second showing for Shin Kamen Rider, albeit on a Monday. The fuck goes to the movie theater on a Monday? Certainly not me. I have work. But I think just the general like scope of it all is that this is a constantly ever-changing beast. And the only thing that I could say that is definite, and this is me going on my script here, is that we, the consumer, hold the power to change all this. Look what happened when we yelled at Titan and Stonebot. We yelled at them enough, and well, at least I'm hoping they're getting the ball rolling on this, on fixing all those translation issues. You know, talking about like crap subtitles, or talking about, once again, fixing the manga issues, or just trying to get more Rider distributed. Now, a common thing here, it does seem to be so much so the US distributor side of thing. It's mostly Toei just making everything completely impossible, as you can see based on people's general consensus from the interviews that I did at MomoCon. But all I could say is that we just got to keep fighting, and that's the only thing I can say. It might not even be the answer you want to hear. You just got to fucking yell at them a bunch. And with that, I'm DawnBreaker, and I've been keeping a jar of flesh-eating bacteria under my bed.
Thanks for watching this video. I'm DawnBreaker, and all the plans to distribute Kamen Rider on this laptop.